Hello everyone, and welcome back to Monifactory. So last episode was a bit of a lengthy one, but we did manage to fix our power issues by setting up the DML. So last episode was a bit of a lengthy one, but we did manage to set up our hostile neural network simulation chambers. We got automatic loot fabricators, and those are producing us ender pearls to keep the pulsating polymer clay going. Pulsating polymer clay. You know what I mean. It keeps that thing going to keep the loot fabricators going, yada yada. And we're also making diamonds, which power the numismatic dynamos. And since last episode, I've went ahead and upgraded them all with the reinforced integral components and multi-cycle injectors. And each one is now giving us a maximum throughput of 6,250 RF a tick. Although we can't sustain all of them at the moment with the amount of simulation chambers that we currently have running. Right now we just have the one shulker, self-aware, we have one enderman, superior, I'm running a spider for copper, and I'm also running a guardian for gold. But I have some more in this battle, and we'll keep crafting some more periodically. So what is our plan for today? Well, I was having a look at our quest book here, and we're basically in the early game still. Pretty much at the end of LV, pushing into MV. Yeah, at the moment we have 3 MV machines, if you don't count the ones over here, the chemical reactor and the alloy smelter, which is for pulsating polymer clay. This stuff. And you might also notice it looks a little bit different. This is still our extruder, the mixer, and the reconstructor. However, this is part of a resource pack, which you guys have the video would have been live by now. Yeah, so I made a resource pack called Threefold's Modern Gregtech. It's still in its very early stages, but we are going to be running it here in the Monifactory series and testing it out. I'm hoping it's going to be available to you guys very, very soon, although at the time of filming this it's currently not. Yeah, check Discord for the very latest, and I'll give you some more updates in future episodes of this series as well. But yeah, as you can see here, we've went for a style much more similar to the older versions of Gregtech. I'm not going to go through every single texture because I've done that in the video, which is now up on the channel. Go check that out if you're interested in, seeing all the textures close up. But yeah, I just enabled this in this world for the first time, and yeah, it's it's so weird seeing all of your own textures in the game now. Man, it's cool. And there's one more thing two more things I want to show you guys, which I didn't show in that original update video, which is the program circuits. So I retextured all the program circuits, 0 to 32. And also the Gregtech emitter, which is something I didn't show in that update video, as I only recently put this together. I'm not so sure about this, to be honest, but we'll keep it for now. This is our emitter texture. Yeah, so with all that being said, the goal for this episode is to try to get auto-crafting patterns. And to be honest, this is a pretty hefty goal because we do need HV circuits, the highest we've crafted is medium voltage, and we also need polyethylene. And silver wire, but we can do this through DML. However, before tackling those two projects, there is some more preparation I would like to get done around this base. Alright guys, so I think we're ready to progress here. I've went ahead and set up our MV machines in the second floor of our base. Yeah, second floor. I still get lost in here for some reason. I think there's not really enough variety in the build. We might have to add some markers or change up the colors. Maybe not everything is going to be yellow eventually. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we have space here for the medium voltage machinery. And so yeah, I pretty much just removed the 3 machines that we had, and we're going to add to that space up there. I was debating whether or not we should move the LV machines, but I think I've decided we're going to keep them right here. We will, however, move the blast furnace, probably this episode, and I want to put the blast furnaces on floor 1, the ground floor. So right here is where the blast furnaces are going to be. Probably all the way, yeah, lined up, and maybe even on the other side as well. I seen some of you guys commenting about my backpack, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade this backpack. And I think we can... Wait, not backpack. I believe we can upgrade the upgrade slot, the amount of upgrade slots, and the storage capacity, if I'm not wrong, twice with this. Just with some Invar and gold, it takes it to hardened. And then I think once more, yeah, that's our quest. Once more with some aluminium and electrum. Brings us up to reinforced. Oh yeah, this is significantly more space for all of our junk, all of the garbage which is mounted in here. You guys were also mentioning about the magnet as well. There's apparently a magnet upgrade for the backpack, which is better than the electromagnet. Well, I'm not sure. Let's find out. Let's craft it first. Okay, so it can pick up experience. It can pick up items. But does it go... Do the items go into the backpack, or does it go into our inventory? Let's disable this first. It goes into the backpack. That's maybe not ideal, to be honest. Yeah, at least there's a toggle for it. But anyways, let's get back to Gregtech. Let's get back to Gregging right now. So, in terms of circuits, I was about to type in Gregtech there. In terms of circuits, we have 125 LVs plus 64 right here, and 15 MV circuits. I think I was making up some more diodes here. Yes, I was. We just need 48 to bring us up to an even amount, and this should give us an extra 24 MV circuits, right? Yeah, 24 boards, 48 diodes, 48 copper wire, 48 LV circuits. So I put in too many LV circuits, but that's okay. Yeah, in the meantime, we're going to grab our energy conduit and start to plug in our new machines upstairs. So I did run the applied energistics connection, which is right here. We do need to plug this in. So we have crafted a 16 amp MV energy converter, which is going to power all the MV machines up here. We just need to route this power cable and find where the energy source is to our dynamos. So I think we can more or less just follow the ME conduit here, and we should arrive at the dynamos, since that is connected upstairs to the... or downstairs to the simulation chambers. How do we get... I'm going to have to break some blocks here. Yeah, this is where I wanted to be. This is where we wanted. We connected up with our dynamos. That should give us power to the converter, and therefore power to our machines. We can also route it straight down here for the blast furnaces. We might as well do that right now. And I've routed all the cables through the middle of each section. So like in the middle of the pillar is where the cable is going to come from. Yeah, I think I've done that upstairs already for the applied energistics connection. Yeah, right here. So like the middle of all the pillars is where the cable is going to appear. But this should now have power in it. Yes, it does. Perfect. Alright, so now that we're set up, let's have a look at our quests again, and we'll see where we want to go. Unfortunately, the bad news is I don't think we're going to get all the way to auto-crafting patterns this episode, but we'll give it our very best shot. So you might remember a couple of episodes ago, I started to cook up these monocrystalline silicon bowls here. We do need a laser engraver, and also a cutting machine, at least MV, so let's see if we can craft... Oh, vanadium steel, we haven't... Can we get this one at least? Just an MV emitter? Okay, we can craft that with our brand new textures. It looks so strange seeing all these things now. Alright, there's a laser engraver, MV. Grab the wire cutters. Think. That's going to go right there. So we do need some lenses for this machine. It looks like the quest is just asking us for ruby right now, but we'll eventually need diamond, emerald, topaz, sapphire, yada yada. To get the lens, you can use an MV lathe to get the lens from a plate, or sift it from an exquisite gem. Alright, you know what, let's just make an MV lathe, because I don't want to deal with exquisites. We'll just make the MV version of the lathe. And this way we can obsolete all the LV machines eventually. Yeah, let's just stick it right here. Oh yeah, and also, you guys mentioned that we can set auto output using a screwdriver. Is that true? Do we have to... Wait, I think we might have to set the output side first. Not that. The output side here, and then do that. Oh yeah, it says in Jade there, automatic output is enabled. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, we're going to automatic output to the top side of the machines, so I'm going to do that for them all. Oh, that one was already enabled, and we're going to send that into some item pipe. So I have some small tin item pipe here. We might upgrade it later on because this is kind of slow transfer rate. But in any case, that is going to go into an interface right here, which should send it back to our AE system. We just need to plug this in. So you remember last episode I said that the interface can send items back to storage as well as requesting items, the same way we're using it in our concrete setup. So it's going to send the items back to this slot, and it's going to send it away to any available storage on the network, which for most items is going to be our drives right here. And so this way we're not left with a ton of items sitting in the output of the machines like we have done down here. I did empty these furnaces here, which I'm not really sure what we're going to do about the furnaces, to be honest. Well, I emptied most. I made some more steel. But I bet this alloy smelter, for example, has stuff in it. Yeah, we can avoid a situation like this. It's all going to go back to our AE system whenever the machines are done crafting. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of wire. Yeah, okay, so let's make our ruby lens. We don't have any uh-oh. We don't have any ruby. Oh, wait, we might have some ruby in here. Ruby comes from the redstone veins, and yes, we do. I'm just going to smelt a full stack of this, I think. So we only need a tiny amount of ruby, since when we get the lens, it's not consumed in the recipe. Well, yeah, in the laser engraver, it's not consumed whenever we use it, so we really only need the one lens. We do need to cut our block of ruby, and we can do this at LV, but we do need a MV cutting machine, and that's right, we do need vanadium steel. How do we get vanadium steel in this? And vanadium is made from chromium, vanadium, and steel. Okay, steel we have. Vanadium, I don't think we... Oh, we have a tiny amount of vanadium magnetite, and I think we just centrifuge this for vanadium dust. And chromium, I know that we found a tiny amount in the Lost Cities chests. Yeah, so we can put this through our MV mixer. Oh, we need this as steel dust. Okay, circuit number 1 should start the recipe. 20 seconds. So that should be sent from the output into the tin pipe into the interface. Wait, if we had it connected here. But I do want to set up another terminal right here, just to make it a bit easier and closer. Aha, so that is going to take a moment through the blast furnace. We can look at our next quest though, which is to get canthal ingots. Canthal is made from iron, aluminium, and chrome. So I guess we are going to have to get chromium, and for that it looks like we need a mixer and we need an electrolyzer perhaps? Let's see, chromium is used in the production of many alloys, stainless steel, vanadium steel, and canthal. It is primarily obtained by electrolyzing ruby dust. You'll need lots of this soon, so find a robust source of it. Okay, in that case we should invest in the electrolyzer. Can we do this? Yes we can, okay. It's so satisfying when you can just shift click stuff. And that is 3 quests completed. And all of this ruby that we had, let's see, do we want to smelt this? I don't think we do, because we get 1-to-1 if we smelt it. And then this is going to macerate 1-to-1 with dust. However, I think we can macerate and it turns into 2 crushed. And we get a chance of chromium. Yeah, so maybe we'll just invest in a macerator MV as well. Right? Yes, we can. A macerator MV. I know, by the way, there is a multi-block for maceration. And in fact, it's recommended that you make a multi-block for maceration. I might still do that. The steam grinder, which is back in the first quest chapter, which is a multi-block intended for the steam age. This pack skips the steam age, but it might still be worth using. We might do this as the steam grinder functions as 5.3 LV macerators in parallel, which honestly sounds like a good deal, but it runs on Steam. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we might go back and invest in that, because it's going to be a while before we can get fast multi-blocks or parallel processing. But for now, since we don't need the ruby or chrome right this second, I am gonna... Yeah, we're gonna electrolyze all we have. Let's see how much we actually have here. Yeah, I mined out a lot of redstone veins. I think that's all we have. Yeah, that's just about all we have. So nearly a full inventory worth. Yeah, we'll toss it all into the macerator, and also we'll need a way to insert into these machines since downstairs we used hoppers, but that's not possible from the underside here, and we don't have space on the top side. So instead we're going to invest in some, ULV conveyor modules, which we're just going to buy. I'm going to buy a whole ton of them here. And in fact, you know what? Something satisfying you guys are probably commenting by now is claim all your quest rewards, so we're gonna go ahead and do just that. Let's see what we got. Okay, mostly just Moni quarters and nickels. Oh, we got our MV trophy as well. Nice. Okay, so we're 3 trophies into the game now. What is this? An applied energistics guide? A programmed circuit in physical form? Yeah, so we're going to put conveyors on all of these MV machines set to import. And that should start the macerator. Yeah, so it's only 10 seconds for each ore. That's really not so bad, to be honest. But we do have to process it twice since it gives us crushed. And it's all that junk's going to fill up the AE system, but that's okay. That's okay. We're doing small batches here, kind of. I mean, relatively speaking, for Gregtech. Not too long later, we have 16 vanadium steel. I'm also going to grab our crystalline bulls. We have 24, which means we should be able to make our cutting machine, and we do need vanadium steel plates for this, so I think it's the perfect time to pick up a medium voltage bending machine, if we can. Yeah, this is the beauty of batch crafting, because it means at this point we can just start shift clicking stuff, and everything just works out. So amazing. Next MV machine, the bending machine, which should make plates much faster. Well, not much faster, but a bit faster than LV at least. Okay, that is actually quite a bit faster than what we're used to. It might just be a quick recipe, but it's definitely an upgrade nonetheless. Definitely an upgrade. Yeah, so that means we can put together our buzzsaw blade and craft our cutting machine. So the cutting machine does require a fluid to function. The most efficient fluid is lubricant, but we don't have a source of lubricant right now. We can alternatively use water. Water is a slower recipe, but I think it still runs... Well, it should still run all the same recipes, so we're just going to put a water collector next to it for now. And that's the reason I put it on the end of the line here. The order of the machines might switch places with some stuff, but it will be fine. Oh yeah, and we should also do that for all of them. I love this feature. So after all that, we can come back and cut our block of ruby. That gives us our ruby plates. In the MV lathe, we can make our lenses. I'm just going to do all 9, might as well. And so all of this was to make silicon wafers in order to make our next circuits. So the way, I guess we're going to go through the way circuits work. Essentially, there's a progression tab here, and the way you want to think about circuits is there's multiple circuits for each tier. So we have 3 LV circuits, and these can all craft the same items pretty much. It's just that their recipes are different. Well, they can mostly craft all the same items. There is a couple of exceptions, but yeah, so there's 3 LVs, there's 3 MVs, and you generally want to get as far to the right-hand side as you can, since these ones are cheaper than these ones. Both LV, but this is cheaper to make than this one, once you have the requirements to actually craft this one. So also in the cutting machine, I'm going to go ahead and cut down the monocrystalline silicon bills. There's no other use for these, but this will give us 16 wafers. And the wafers we have to use in our laser engraver with the ruby lens. Yeah, and then the wafers we're going to use to make our second tier 1 circuits, which are a bit cheaper to make. It is still an involved process, well, a lot of steps at this point. But using those second tier 1 circuits, we get access to the second tier 2 circuits, or second MV circuits. And this is going to allow us to make our HV circuits, which we need for the auto-crafting patterns. But also, these are, I think, more efficient to make than the last tier of tier 2 circuits that we used to make, which we are now out of. In fact, there was some that we started earlier on, right? Those should be crafted by now. Yeah, there's 24. So these ones in the quest book are a bit more efficient to make, so we'll switch to using those from now on. And these will be the last 24 that we have. So with all of this prep done, it's time to do some more preparations. I'm going to go ahead and try to get our first batch of circuits. I'm going to... Wait a second. Wait, isn't this just what the quest asked us to do there? Ruby lens? MV? Oh, this doesn't have energy. Oh, this isn't plugged in. 3, what are you doing? Plug in your machines. Yeah, and here we are finally using the lossless cable, so this is all energetic alloy, doesn't need to be coated, or rather can't be coated, and we don't lose any power no matter how long this cable is. Yeah, now the recipe is running. Okay, with all that being said, I'm going to try to get our first batch of MV circuits, and also start to prepare for polyethylene, which I suspect is going to be quite a bit different. We're going to have to start petrochemistry, and we want this on passive, so polyethylene is made as a fluid, then you fluid solidify. Polyethylene is made from ethylene and oxygen in a chemical reactor, Yeah, just in the distillation tower, there's 18 pages worth of recipes that give you ethylene, and I suspect they're all different efficiencies and different inputs. Oh, great. Oh yes, this is where the chemistry begins. This is where it begins, boys. This is where it begins. Okay, there's also, normally you can either go for like the biodiesel route or the oil route, the liquid gold route, and I really don't know which one to go for in this pack, because I suspect it's going to be very, very different to not only Monifactory, but also GTNH. Man, that laser engraver texture is awesome. Okay, yeah, anyways, it's time to do some crafting and also planning through petrochemistry. I need to wrap my head around this. Here we go. So you guys might be wondering how we just died there. It's a very long story, but we did manage to get our brand new circuits and we're ready to start making some polyethylene here. And to help us with this, I did craft 2 more MV machines in the form of a wire mill and an assembler. Some of the machines have also switched places, but yeah, these are the 2 brand new ones. Additionally, downstairs we now also have 4 more blast furnaces. These are not plugged in. Well, they're not completed yet. We're missing the energy hatches, so we'll have a look at these next episode. So on the new circuits, we got 3 stacks of the brand new MV circuits and 1 stack spare of LVs. Some of them I used to craft the machines in front of us here, which will be the start of our polyethylene setup. And we also have some more in the inventory, lots and lots of crafting. But we do actually have quite a few circuits left to spare, which is good. Just in case we missed some machines, we got 185 MVs left and just a little over, 129 LVs. So we're looking pretty good, but I didn't want to craft too many because as soon as we get polyethylene, the circuits will actually become cheaper since we get multiplied recipe outputs. Although we do need to start making some polyethylene, and there's a lot of steps for us to go through because ultimately I did decide to go for the biomass setup and not the oil route. And there is good reason for that, or at least in my mind there's good reason for it, which might become clear quite soon. But yeah, let's just start setting this up and I'll try to explain as we go here. So obviously none of the machines are connected or plugged in, and this is just one half of the setup. There's also, some more machines to place down on this side. So for polyethylene, well actually let's just start at the beginning and then, or should we start at the end and then work backwards? Sometimes that's kind of useful. I really want us all to be on the same page and for you guys to understand what's going on, because I think that makes it a lot more fun. It's kind of no fun if you guys don't understand what's happening in the game here, so I'm trying to think about what the best way to explain all this is. I'm also going to move this 1 block over. So what we have here is 2 LV machines, that's what we're plugging in right now, so we need to give them some power. And we are of course going to use the lossless LV cable, conductive iron. I mean, I say of course, but we didn't use it down there, and you guys let me know about that. So yeah, this is the lossless cable. We're not going to use tin for this. Yeah, okay, so for ethylene, let's just go backwards. So we'll start with the chemical reaction step. We are going to use this recipe and not the distillery for oil. What we're going to do is combine ethanol and sulfuric acid, so we need a way of producing sulfuric acid. We're basically starting from scratch here, right? We essentially don't have any fluids or automation in the base, so yeah, we need a way to supply sulfuric acid. We'll come back to this. We need ethanol. To get ethanol, the only option for us right now, since we don't have access to the distillation tower, is to use a distillery. And we can either use fermented biomass, or wood vinegar. We're going to go for biomass. We get a chance output, or not a chance output, a byproduct of wood pulp. And we get 600 millibuckets of ethanol from 1 bucket of biomass. To get biomass, we're going to use a... Oh, we can use a pyrolyze oven for this. There's a fire. That's not good. Dang it, the lava underneath here. Okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. We're going to change the game rule. I'm going to do this on camera as well, because I don't like changing game rules to fire tick. We're going to disable this. I hope you guys are alright with that, but I want it to be transparent. Just so the base doesn't burn down for situations like this, because we do need to make, cobblestone underneath here. There's a igneous extruder. But yeah, I didn't notice this recipe here for the pyrolyze oven from biochaff for biomass. You know what? We're going to stick to our guns. We're going to do it in the single block brewery for now. And we're going to use this recipe. So water plus biochaff gives us biomass. To get biochaff, we're going to macerate plant balls. To get plant balls, we're going to compress sugarcane. So what we're going to do here is connect an ender chest to our sugarcane supply. And eventually we'll move this out of here, but we just need to get some sort of passive sugarcane up to the new base, and this is the way we'll do it for now. So triple green. No, wait, triple green is the ender pearls. Okay, in that case we'll do triple lime. So the sugarcane has to go into a compressor, right? That's going to go right here. And then remember, we always want to buffer intermediate products, so that is going to give us plant balls, and we're going to buffer those. So I've decided to frame the drawer with skulk. That's what this block here is from 1.19. So before the episode started, I actually went to a deep dark biome and found an ancient city. I was there for quite a while, to be honest, and I started to mine up. Well, I first of all collected all the chests, and we got a decent amount of loot, actually. There was some pretty good stuff in there. And then once all the chests were looted, I then took a hole to the skulk and, yeah, gathered up a whole bunch of the skulk, which we are also using downstairs for DML. DML. Not DML. Down here, where the bats live. Yeah, next to our loot fabricators and simulation chambers. Yeah, so honestly, I kind of like the frame drawers. I like the skulk, and the way that you frame a drawer in this is you just have to place it in the crafting grid like this. So it means we can set up auto crafting for this later on. But it's very easy to frame them. There's no framing table since this is a different mod. But yeah, this will be our frame drawers. It kind of gives like a nice... There's a very subtle animated texture to it, which is kind of cool. And the white face makes it very easy to tell what we have inside the drawer as well, when they're eventually full of items. Yeah, we need to send the sugarcane into the compressor. We'll just set up some item conduit for this on brown. Yes, okay, so we need a source of power for all of these machines. So I made a 16 amp MV energy converter, and that of course goes to energetic alloy wire, same as we have upstairs. There's some MV machines on this side as well, so let's also plug these in. I guess we're just gonna go like that, and like that. But for now we'll just do this, and that should give the machine power. And we will start to make our plant balls. Yeah, then we want to macerate. So we're going to put our macerator and then ULV conveyor to pull in the items. So screwdriver, import, mute the machine. Once again, we'll have a drawer as a buffer and automatic output. So that makes us the biochaff. The biochaff has to go into a brewery with water. So yeah, this is where we'll need our aqueous accumulator. One more conveyor module. Okay, we got the accumulator right underneath the brewery. That should work perfectly fine as long as we give it a pump on the bottom side. And that should make our... Once we give it power, that should make our wire cutters. There we go. Oh, that is a cool texture. I like that. That should make our biomass. The biomass then we have to distill. And same as with items, we want to make sure that we buffer the biomass. So we're going to place a drum above the machine. Thank you for reminding me about these drums, by the way. This is just fluid storage from Gregtech, and it holds 128 buckets. So it's a very significant amount of storage. And you can also use the drums inside inventories to pick up fluids, so it's much more convenient than these reservoirs that I have been using. So we're going to fluid auto output here to the top side. Oh yeah, and the drums by default have their output side to the bottom, so I think we need to allow input from output side, and we can do that with a screwdriver, I believe. Oh no, that's automatic output. I cannot figure this out for the life of me. So the drum, right, it has an automatic drain on the bottom, and you can also shift right click with the screwdriver to disallow input from output side, which I believe is the default behavior. That's why we're not getting the fluid in the bottom. But you can't toggle it, right? So you can't allow input from output side here. And you can't rotate it either, so to put like the output side on another face of the drum. So unless I'm missing something, I don't think that it's possible to insert in the bottom of drums, so we're going to put it on the side instead. I guess we're going to have to compromise. And so that means output on the right hand side into a distillery. Give it some power. One more pump on the distillery to pull in the fluid, and I think it's going to be circuit 1 here, right? Yeah, circuit 1 is going to give us wood pulp and ethanol. Yes, excellent. So we're most of the way there for ethylene. All we have to do is combine ethanol with sulfuric acid, and the sulfuric acid we're going to make over here. So there is multiple recipes for sulfuric acid. The way we're going to do it though is really the only viable way we can do it at the moment, since we don't have access to the large chemical reactor, which can do sulfur plus water. Circuit 24. This is the most efficient way, but yeah, we don't have access to this machine. So we have to use the single blocks for the moment, and so this is going to be a 3-stage process. So just for symmetry, we're going to do our first chemical reactor right here, and then the other ones here and here. The first step is going to be for sulfur dioxide, so sulfur plus oxygen gas, and then sulfur dioxide plus more oxygen gives us sulfur trioxide. And then sulfur trioxide plus water gives us our sulfuric acid. And yes, this is going to be another long episode, but I hope you guys don't mind. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to rush this process, especially for some of the first chemistry things in the game. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here, so we're going to keep doing this together, or most of it together. So behind the chemical reactors here, we are going to place a interface right here. I've also placed a fluid pipe in between this chemical reactor and this chemical reactor. That's going to send the sulfur dioxide that we make here into this one. So to make sulfur dioxide, we have to combine sulfur dust, which we're going to request in an interface. The sulfur dust we can get from DML, from our from our blaze predictions. And we also want to request our oxygen gas here, which I believe we can do in an interface, right? Yes, we can, and we'll set this to 4 buckets and 64. And so both the item and the fluid have to be sent to the chemical reactor. We could use conduits, but those are not really reliable, as we found out in this pack. So instead, we're going to use the laser. So we want to insert fluid and item to the, not this side, to the chemical reactor, so down. And then on the east side, the same one with the interface, we want to extract. So we want an item and fluid card set on extract. So the sulfur dioxide has to be combined with oxygen, so we want another fluid pipe right here. So that will take our oxygen from the interface and put it in the second chemical reactor to make us sulfur trioxide. We auto output down to the third chemical reactor and mix with water, so I've set up another aqueous accumulator down here, which just goes via this pipe into the side of the machine. And so yeah, we should start to buffer sulfuric acid in this drum beneath the third chemical reactor once we start to make oxygen, which is what we're going to do over here. And I already noticed the first issue, since I wanted to buffer cobblestone from this igneous extruder, but we can't place any conveyors on the side of the machine or on the drawer. So we're going to have to move this water over. We can move the water to the other side of the igneous extruder, and that should allow us to put a tin item pipe here and here, and then conveyor on the back side of this tin item pipe. Perfect, so we're now buffering cobblestone. We want to send that into our LV forge hammer, which will turn cobble into gravel, and then automatic output to another buffer. And then we're going to do one more forge hammer. So cobble to gravel, gravel to sand, same as we done in the lawn base. And then automatic output to another drawer on the side. And so from sand, we're going to go into an arc furnace, which also has to be supplied with oxygen gas. So we also, I guess, want another laser here. Yeah, one more laser and one more fluid card. And we can connect this up to this one, like so. And then we want a fluid card in the bottom for insert. And so that should send the oxygen gas into the arc furnace once we have oxygen available to our AE system. For now, I did save a whole bunch of oxygen from the ruby that we processed, which is in here. So in the electrolyzer, I actually stopped a lot of it. We have a lot of ruby unprocessed right now, but we do have 109 buckets of oxygen here. I'm going to grab this barrel, or this drum. The final oxygen buffer is going to be right here. And so what the arc furnace is going to do is allow us to convert sand into glass in a more efficient manner than just smelting. So we can insert this in here. I'm going to place some oxygen manually for now. And yeah, this gives us 2 glass for every sand. So it's quite efficient this way, and we can once again buffer sand in the drawer below. And then sand we want to pull into a macerator on the left hand side. So once again, another conveyor. That's going to make us glass dust. Once again, buffer. Glass dust we want to pull into another centrifuge this time. And centrifuging glass dust will give us silicon dioxide dust. Once again, one more buffer. And then silicon dioxide dust we want to electrolyze. Another conveyor. And so the electrolysis of silicon dioxide gives us silicon dust and oxygen gas. The silicon dust we're going to send up to the drawer. And the oxygen is going to go to this drum. So I think all we need to do is have a fluid pipe behind here. Like that. Yeah, so now we buffer the oxygen here. We need to make sure we expose it to our AE system. And to do that, we can use a storage bus. And we absolutely want to make sure this is on high priority, extract only, and partitioned for oxygen gas. But yeah, I think we just need to plug this in somehow. We need some glass cable here, and we'll need another storage bus for this one, for the sulfuric acid. So this also has to be a glass cable. And that should now have exposed oxygen to our system. It should now appear here. And we should now be starting to make sulfuric acid. I think there's a circuit number for this, right? Hold on, let's just make sure it went into this one as well. It didn't go into the arc furnace. Oh, I just realized here on this laser, I have the fluid card in the wrong slot. This should be down. Yeah, now the arc furnace is making us glass again. And it's only a very tiny amount of oxygen. It's only 20 millibuckets for each recipe, so it's quite efficient. But yeah, the chemical reactor next to it needs a circuit number, so circuit number 2 should start to make us sulfur dioxide. Then sulfur trioxide with more oxygen, which is filled from the interface. And then combined with water in the bottom one, we should start to get sulfuric acid. Yeah, we need a pump right there. Right? Yes, perfect. Yes, water plus sulfur trioxide makes us sulfuric acid here, which we want to automatic output. I guess I never done that. Yes, sulfuric acid. We want another storage bus right here. And exactly the same as the oxygen is going to be extract only, partition, and high priority. So you might be wondering also why I'm doing on-site storage and not fluid disks from Applied Energistics. And the reason for that is because of the priority system. These are going to be primary producers of oxygen and sulfuric acid, so these are going to be high priority. However, later in the game, we're going to encounter recipes which give us sulfuric acid as a byproduct, for example, diluted sulfuric acid from various petrochemistry recipes, and in that case, we're going to have a low priority storage bus on our sulfuric acid, wherever that happens to be, and so the system will use that sulfuric acid first before it touches any more from the beginning, or from the primary producer. And the same thing applies here for oxygen gas. So now we want to make sure that we have all the drawers locked. This one, and this one. And make sure that they're set for all the correct items. We just need to wait on this recipe running once. Biochaff goes here. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we're most of the way there. We just need a couple more steps. So what we need to do now is combine our sulfuric acid with our ethanol. And this is where I have run out of machines. I didn't do enough crafting for this because we were out of copper nickel, I think. But that is now all crafted. So 2 more MV chemical reactors. 1 and 2. These machines we're going to have on a separate power source, so I'm going to take this converter from the lawn base. And this one here is only a 4 amp converter, so we need to be careful not to plug it into this one, although they are both MV. So yeah, I also made a distillery here as well. What we're going to do is chemical reactor. Oh, I'm missing some interfaces. More crafting. So now that we have our sulfuric acid and ethanol... Oh wait, no, we don't have our ethanol exposed to our AE system, right? That's in this drum. So yeah, I guess we need another storage bus on this one. This one is going to be, again, high priority since it's a primary producer. And this one I think I will allow bidirectional. It's unlikely we're going to be making ethanol in many other places around the base. But just in case we are, I'm going to allow it to be stored here. And then plug it in. Yeah, so now that we have both of those fluids exposed to our AE system, we can place an interface, if I can break this. This is not the right tool for the job. Interface on the side of the chemical reactor. And we want a pump on the side. And we're just going to pull straight from the interface. So we can request our sulfuric acid. Oh wait, that requests the bucket. I think you have to pull from... Yeah, there we go. Okay. You have to pull the actual fluid from EMI. Okay, so sulfuric acid and ethanol. And I think the machine in the pump is smart enough to not fill two fluids with the same slot here. So that is pretty convenient. And then I'm pretty sure it's going to be a circuit number here, right? Oh no, we just need to give it energy. This is not connected up here. We need to extend those cables along. You know what? I'm loving this wiring system that we have going here in the crawl spaces. It's working out very well. Very, very well so far. Right, so we should now have power here. And we are making, very slowly, it's 60 seconds for the recipe, but we are going to get ethylene, a full bucket of ethylene. And also, you can see in the tooltip there, diluted sulfuric acid. Yeah, this is the first instance where we have a secondary producer of sulfuric acid. So diluted, we want to distill in a distillery. And of course, we want to send the ethylene to the next chemical reactor up here. So to make sure the fluid goes in the right place, we need to make some fluid filters. And these are going to go on the pumps. So we place a pump on the machine. You can place it on either side, but it's more convenient if you're doing filtering to place it on the input side. So on the distillery one, we want our filter here for only diluted sulfuric acid, since it will have access technically to both of them. And the ethylene we want to be in this pump. So one more fluid filter for ethylene, if I can spell. It's going to give us sulfuric acid, and this is, again, our secondary producer. So we want another storage bus on this drum. Actually, I'm going to move it to the top side. Yeah, we'll put it here, and then we'll put our storage bus on the back. This one is going to be low priority, since we want it to extract first. And we're going to have this on extract only. Partitioned for sulfuric acid. And plug it in. Always plug in your machines 3. Oh, I've learned that lesson the hard way now. Oh yeah, we can't do this. Yeah, that's right. We can't insert into the drums in the bottom. That's so silly. I hate that you can't do that. But I think you can with super tanks. So once we can craft super tanks, I mean, yeah, we can place them on the, or insert fluids into the bottom. I guess we can't for drums. So we are dealing with the byproducts out of our system. All we're left with is ethylene, and yeah, the last stage is to combine with more oxygen gas. So one more interface on the side of this one, and we can request our oxygen gas. Another pump on the side to import. Plug it in. Give it some power. Wire cutter snap. I love that sound so much. Oxygen gas plus ethylene. I think it's circuit number 1. We done it. Polyethylene. It definitely went a lot more smooth than when I've done this in the past, but there is a few more steps for polyethylene. Like I mentioned earlier, we need to fluid solidify, and we need to use it as fluid as well. So I guess we want to have one more drum. We'll put the buffer right here, and that should start to fill with polyethylene. And so yeah, remember, the only inputs for this system is sulfur, and which we're going to get from DML. We have to fix that. Although we are running the shulker, or the blaze model now. So sulfur for sulfuric acid, and then the only other input for this is sugarcane from the ender chest, but this is basically free. And then cobblestone, which is also free. This will eventually fill all the buffers. But yeah, just one more time, we're doing cobble to gravel, gravel to sand, sand to glass, glass to glass dust to silicon dioxide into oxygen and silicon. And then we're doing sulfur dioxide from sulfur and oxygen, sulfur dioxide into trioxide, trioxide into sulfuric acid. Then we're doing sugarcane into plant balls into biochaff, biochaff into biomass, biomass into ethanol. We also get wood pulp. And then ethanol plus sulfuric acid makes us our diluted sulfuric acid, which we recycle. And we also make ethylene, combined with more oxygen gas, makes us polyethylene. However, guys, that was our 25-minute episode done. Oh my goodness, it's getting ridiculous at this point, but some of you guys do like the longer episode, and like I said, I didn't want to rush through the initial chemistry parts here. Although a lot of it will be off camera from now on. Well, some of it. We'll do it on a case-by-case basis. I don't set any hard rules. I guess I shouldn't really have said 25-minute episodes. It's going to be like a meme at this point. Whatever, it is what it is. Anyways, next episode we have a lot more Gregtech to do. Now that a lot more of the base is built, we can plug in our blast furnaces and get some of these up and running. We have an applied energistic system. Yeah, we're an expanding applied energistic system. I'm going to try to clean up some of the aesthetics here as well. But yeah, we are making some very steady progress. I'm really loving how this base is turning out. However, from me for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Monifactory. Have an amazing day, everyone.